I get to talk to one of my real buddies, and Sparky Hamilton, who Clay, I know you remember well from his playing time and his days starting in '99 with Houston Nutt, is with us here this morning on the phone line. Sparky, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great, Tommy. How are you?
Good to hear from you, my friend. Sparky and I, for those that don't know, and Clay, I know you know this, Sparky and I referee football together, and had developed a great friendship out of that, and I thought it'd be a good time here in August as we start camp today, Sparky, to have a conversation with you. You were there for a lot of great moments as a wide receiver between '99 and '02, and we'll get to some of your thoughts on this football team and Traylon Burks and kind of the start of camp today, as it's been about 20 years since you've put that helmet and shoulder pads on. But kind of catch us up. What's going on with you? I know you got a great career going at Walmart there in Northwest Arkansas.
Yes, sir. I work here at Walmart here in Bentonville, and just raising a family here in Northwest Arkansas. Got a wife over there that is a principal in the Bentonville School District, and I got two sports stud girls that I'm raising. So it's been fun here in Northwest Arkansas ever since we relocated here in 2013.
Athletes like Dad, aren't they?
I guess you can say something like that, man.
Okay, Sparky, this is my chance. This is Clay. I have here all these times where Tommy has given us the explanation of the officiating mistakes that are made. I just want to know how many really goof-ups Tommy makes per game and how you're able to straighten them out.
Hey, we only have about 15 minutes, Clay. He doesn't have all day.
Well, just hit the good ones, Sparky.
I tell you, if we do make a mistake, Tommy always smooths it over. I tell you, he get that radio voice and he get on that mic, and you never knew that we made a mistake. So.
You're giving away all our secrets here, Spark.
So he's able to go over there and talk to those coaches in a smooth way, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Does he ever point and say, "Hey, Sparky, you go right over there and talk to Barry Lunny," or whoever it would be? So take care of this one for me, Sparky. No, I'm just joking.
Clay, let me tell you something for sure. If there's ever a moment I feel like I need security when I go somewhere, there's no question on the crew who I'm taking with me. It's Sparky.
6'5", 230 pounds. How much you weigh now, Sparky, out of football? I know what your playing weight was.
Yeah, I'm about 230 right now, but I'll fluctuate between 225 and 230.
Yeah, so
the term brick outhouse would still apply. You know.
Yeah, come on, Sparky, we're going over here. We're going to talk to this coach a little bit, and you stand 6 inches in front of him right here.
They never see me.
Yeah, no, I've got to go back in time. Go back to your Lufkin days. So you probably don't know this, but John Outlaw and I went to school together at UCA, and I just to set the record straight, he was hugging people back in those days, Sparky. That dude, he wanted to hug you if he could, and John was Sparky's coach at Lufkin High School, Texas Hall of Fame coach. I want to know, did he really meet every student out in the parking lot coming into campus every day to tell them have a good day?
No doubt. That guy was an amazing human being. I miss that guy dearly. I always tell people he was just like a second father to me. Some days I didn't have a ride to school. He would come pick me up early. Him and Kyle O'Quinn and Coach Quick, all those guys had different times that they would come pick me up, and it seemed like he spreaded that love all over the team, all over the school. And like you said, he would come to the parking lot and say, "Hey, Spark, go kill him today in class. I'll see you around 2:00. And it would be every football player and some of the students. I mean, a lot of the students knew him, and he was just, spread the love all over the school. So, yeah, he was that kind of guy.
Sparky Hamilton with us here, former Razorback on the Morning Rush as first day of practice. What do you remember about some of those first days of camp. It's different now than it was when you were playing for Houston Nutt. What do you remember about this time of the year and playing for Coach Nutt?
Man, I'll tell you, that first week of camp, man, was intense because everybody was on edge and everybody wanted to show that they were working in the summer. So even though a lot of us stayed up here in the summer and worked out, that first week was real competitive between one-on-one and team, and it was just a athletic show, I would say. So we were a lot of times going to, in shells, in helmets, in shorts, probably the first week, and then we'll put those pads on after. But I just remember coming in drenched from practice one, I should say, and then practice two. I mean, we would just get after it again, and it would just be fun, man. So Coach Nutt made it really fun, really intense those first weeks, and we got after it.
Your first year was 1999. We all know what happened in 1998. We had Clint Sterner on the show earlier this week. He stopped in for a visit. What was the mood like of that team, overcoming the disappointment and the way things went towards the end of 98? And you stepped in. You weren't part of that, but you came in and was part of that 99 team and that great moment against Tennessee at home. What was the mood like and the resolve of that team and that offseason as you were a young, wide-eyed freshman just trying to figure out what was going on?
I'll tell you, man, I've never seen a laser-focused team over that summer. I came in early that summer, and Anthony Lucas, Clint Sterner, even Bobby Williams, those guys welcomed me with open arms, and they were like, we need you to contribute this year. So those guys took me in, made me read the playbook over and over and over again. And you're talking about extra reps after practice. It wasn't just staying 5 or 10 minutes. It was almost like an extra practice. So that's how focused and dialed in that team of 99 was. So those guys, man, were really, really dialed in and ready to compete that next year.
Sparky, you're a Texas guy. I know you've seen the light. You live in Arkansas now, and just joking.
Not really. He's really not joking.
The idea that Oklahoma and Texas are coming into the league. Some people are happy. Some people, are mad. Some people like they don't deserve it, and there's just me. I'm. Just gives me a little more time to hate Texas, but So what's your inner gut tell you about what's about to happen?
I welcome it, man. I really do. I think it's going to bring back the old rivalry of the Southwest Conference. Because we learned about that when we came here. We learned about what that meant, and it's funny that you say that. We really deep dived into the history when we went to the Cotton Bowl to play those guys. So, and that was a part of that fire that we had before we came out of the locker room at the Cotton Bowl against Texas. So I remember specifically Jamel Harris after Coach Nutt got through talking. Jamel Harris said, "Don't come out this locker room if you're not going to play. Give 100%. You stay here." It was a little explicit words in there, but that was the word before we came out of the locker room when we played Texas.
Yeah.
So I welcome it, man, and I have no doubt that we can compete with those guys from here going out because Sam Pittman has brought back a physical presence that we hadn't had in a long time, and that's what I see, or a competitiveness that the guys hadn't had in a long time. So I welcome it. It's going to be good for all schools, and specifically for Arkansas. A lot of people may disagree with me, but if we do what we're supposed to do, the recruiting is going to just skyrocket.
I get. I just thought about this. You were in 2 Cotton Bowls, one against Texas and one against OU. it was a decent, mild day against Texas. It was one of the coldest football games I've ever been to. Not ever, but it was a pretty cold day against in that loss against OU. So you had experience in that Cotton Bowl against both teams that are joining the SEC.
Absolutely, yeah. I remember Roy Williams was the leader of that defense of Oklahoma when we played him. So it was great experience on both teams, and it was, we competed most of all, because we had a chance to win that game in OU. We just, had a few hiccups in the second half that we just couldn't recover from. So we love playing against those guys, and we'll compete against those guys here when they join the conference.
And it was cold. I know how you feel about the cold, and I know you could not have enjoyed that because I know how you are about cold. So.
Absolutely.
Clay, this guy here wants to wear long-sleeve shirts at a football game when it's about 72. So I can just tell you, he was miserable that day against OU.
You can always take a layer off at halftime, right, Sparky?
Yeah, exactly. And hey, I'm from Texas, man.
Sometimes I have to remind him who's the white hat here, but he always wins. He's 6'5" and 230. He always wins. So.
Sparky, the recruiting process when you came out, was Texas, were they involved? Was that a school that you considered?
Absolutely. Yeah, I took my 5 visits to Texas A&M, LSU, Miami, and Arkansas.
And so how did it end up being Arkansas?
It was just I just felt really safe here, man. I'll tell you, Anthony Lucas was my host, and he did a great job of introducing me to every single football player here at Arkansas. And it wasn't, it was some schools that, other football players, were, kind of just snub their nose at you, and, it was a look you up and down saying, "You coming for my spot," that type of stuff. But here at Arkansas, man, it was just welcome.
Yeah.
It was just a welcome feeling. Yeah. And, Fitz Hill had a lot to do with that as well. So Fitz Hill was a great coach, and once again, like a second father to me. And he pushed me to be the best. So that was a big part of why I chose Arkansas.
Well, tell Clay the story about when Houston Nutt and I think Fitz Hill and someone else on the staff came to your house and they really won Mama over right from the get-go. Tell Clay that story, how that went down when Coach Nutt came to see you in Lufkin.
Yeah. So me and my mom was just sitting there waiting on the coaching staff because they were coming over, and next thing you know, you hear a door knocking. And it was Coach Hill came through first, and then it was it was Coach Nutt came through first, and it was Coach Hill came through second. So I opened the door, and I went to kind of shake Coach Hill, shake Coach Nutt's hand, and he went right past me and went straight to my mama over there. And it was like, golly, that's what recruiting is about right there, going straight to mama. I mean, he hugged mama and was like, "Hello, mama," and it was just, my mom was just ecstatic at that time because it just kind of went right past. He was like, I don't need you to make the decision. I need your mama to help make the decision. So that was a very, very funny part of my recruiting process with Coach Nutt.
So one of the things in our relationship and our friendship has developed through officiating basketball and football together, and you're rising the ranks, and particularly in college basketball and football as well. But tell us why you got interested in that in the last 5 or so years. Tell us why officiating has interested you and keeping you close to the game.
Yeah, so it first started out as just a kind of a side gig to help pay for my daughter's volleyball in the summer.
You mean travel volleyball's expensive?
Exactly.
I had no idea.
Yes, that stuff is expensive, man. And as I got into it, I really started liking it, man. So I started getting really in tune into the game, and this guy named Mike Fox came up to me at a Little League game and said, "You need to take this stuff serious and try to go up to high school." And that was, it was, history from there. So once I did that, I got into football because another guy saw me at a basketball game, and he was like, "Why don't you come do football?" And I was like, "You know what? I'm really familiar with football, so I need to try to get on a football crew." And I think I got on a crew, I think it was 4 years ago. And then I think Tommy saw me 2 years ago and, had a vacant position on his crew and, said, "Hey, come try, football with us." And that's how me and Tommy got us. So it's been a fun time ever since then. And I tell you that the crew that we have right now is just, in my opinion, is an all-star crew and one of the best. So we learn together, we hold each other accountable, and that's how it's been ever since.
Sparky, we got a few minutes left here. Obviously, camp beginning today. What are your thoughts on the 21 season? We got 25 practices, and then you play Rice. What are your thoughts? What are your hopes for this year's Razorback team?
Man, I'll tell you, it's very rare that you have 19 starters coming back on a team. That in itself has high expectations, especially with the year that we had last year. We had 3 wins, and you expect more than that because we should have had 5 actually. But I think you would expect to have 7 or 8 wins this year minimum with 19 starters coming back. But I expect that receiving group, which is top notch from number 15 going down all the way to number 7. It's those guys are really, really in tune, and they are going to throw the ball, in my opinion. And they have some studs at the running back position, so we should be very valid, very, very balanced. So we should have an incredible year, in my opinion.
Well, Sparky, I appreciate you taking some time for me and Clay this morning. I'm glad to get to visit with you, and more glad to call you my friend. And can't wait to see you here at some football games very soon.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on, and it's been a fun morning with you guys.
Now, Sparky, when Tommy messes up, you've got my phone number now. Just text it to me, and I'll bust him out right on the air, okay?
Oh, yeah.
You'll be anonymous.
I'll have that in my back pocket. I appreciate that.
Okay, anonymous. It won't.
Yes, anonymous.
Keep your phones charged. There'll be a lot of them. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Be frequent. So. Sparky, we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Tommy.
Right. Sparky Hamilton with us here on the Morning Rush. One of the really good guys.